Hello everybody, I'm Anthony Milwaukee's living the Yellow Submarine. Today I will be doing a different video, and this one is going to be called ranking the Beatles' album covers to least favorite to favorites. The title is basically ranking the Beatles' album covers worst to best, but like I always say, for me there's no bad album covers from the Beatles. There's no bad ones. And if you're going to be asking me about the past masters, I am not going to do. I'm not going to include the past masters that were done from. I think this was actually done by the Beatles. I'm guessing, but those are just basically includes the singles from them. And don't get me wrong. I actually love those album covers. It's just basically simple text on them. And I liked it. I liked it. But yeah, I'm not gonna include it. I'm gonna include the Beatles' album covers. I'm gonna be ranking the Beatles' album covers that they worked on before their breakup of the Beatles. And this video has actually inspired me to do this video because this is actually inspired me to do this video, and it's by that YouTuber named Canadian Stud Muffin. And if you don't know him, that YouTuber, I'll leave him in the description so you can subscribe him to his YouTube video. I saw him did a ranking of the Beatles' album covers, and I was thinking I should rank the. And he also ranks other bands album covers too. I am definitely gonna do that too. So yeah, it inspired me to do that. So this video is going to be for you, not only for you, Canadian Stub Muffin, that's a YouTuber, but this is gonna be also a dedication to your fans also. And I just want to say thank you for inspiring me to make this video, and thank you for making an entertainment video. I'll leave it in the description down below to subscribe him to that channel. And yeah, so this is going to be ranking the Beatles' album covers. Not covers by songs. I mean like album covers, which means like the picture of the albums. And let's get to it. And I have the whole stack with me, so I am going to be because the top ones I'm going to put my least favorites, and the bottom ones are going to be my favorite ones. So for me, my least favorite album covers is their debut album, Please Please Me. And yes, I know you're going to be asking yourself, did you buy all the CDs? Yes, I did. And I didn't buy them on vinyl, mostly because that was before not only I didn't know not a lot about the vinyls, but especially that I didn't have a vinyl back then. And yeah, nowadays I might actually want to buy the vinyls. And yeah, so this album, the Beatles' Please Please Me, it's an okay album. It's not terrible by any means. It's a good album. I love the picture of the Beatles, especially this is their first debut album. Has John Lennon, George Harrison, Paul McCartney, and Ringo Starr right to left. And I love this album cover, and it's just taking a nice group shots. And what kind of a little bit bothers me is the text. I mean, I know it was like that in the early 60s where they had a lot of text they had to put in their album covers. And yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem when because I prefer album covers that has no text. I prefer more of no text of the name of the bands. Or it's okay if you put your members. But it says the Beatles, Please Please Me, with Love Me Doing 12 Other Songs. I would have deleted that text. With Love Me Doing 12 Other Songs, I would have deleted that. And I would delete the Beatles or Please Please Me, but it's an okay album cover. I actually really like this album cover. In the album, of course. Because for me, there's no bad albums from the Beatles. There's no bad albums from the Beatles for me, too. And I really love that album, too, by the way. The Please Please Me is really a really good start to their whole career of the band before the breakup, too. And yeah, this is my least favorite. I actually really like this album cover. I don't love it. But I really do love the songs on this album too. Although some of them are covers and some of them are not covers. I mean, that's another thing the Beatles were, because back then when the Beatles were getting started, they were making some songs that were covers, and there were some songs that they were doing it by themselves, writing it, songwriting them, also known as Lennon McCartney. And yeah, I really loved because I mean, in A Hard Day's Night is where the first album, especially the movie, by the way, it was that Hard Day's Night was the first album they made with making the songs by themselves, with writing their own songs. So I'll get to that later on. So Please Please Me is my least favorite album cover. I don't hate it. I actually really like this album cover, especially the songs are really good. Next up is With the Beatles. Now this album cover, sorry if you see a little dust. I haven't played this album for a while, and it's not too dusty, but yeah, this album I actually really like this album cover. It doesn't. I mean, it says one thing I liked is it actually says I like the album says With the Beatles. It doesn't say the Beatles with the Beatles. It says With the Beatles. I know you can be asking yourself, did you got all the UK release? Yes, I did. I got all the UK release because, and not mostly because I didn't know at the time there were the UK releases. Well, not too many of them, but yeah. Don't get me wrong. I like the American version, Meet the Beatles. I like the American version too, the album covers too. And this one, don't get me wrong, I like this album cover too, but the white space is what kind of ruins it a little bit. This white space is kind of what ruins it a little bit. I mean, granted, maybe in the production they probably they don't want to include the white like a white blank in it, and I guess they didn't want to put it. I guess the Beatles didn't want to put it there, but they had an argument, and I'm guessing the record company won. I'm guessing. I don't know. I didn't really know too much of the story behind the making of this album. But yeah, I do like this album cover. I love this is the second album from the Beatles, by the way. And I love how they got the picture of John Lennon, George Harrison, Paul McCartney, and Ringo Starr. Look at Ringo Starr. Even he doesn't like the way they add the white blank in the top. But yeah. I really like this album cover. Especially, like I said, all the songs on... See, that's another thing why I love the Beatles. Their albums are really good. And I have no problems with their albums or their songs. Although when I first listened to the Beatles, it took me a while to listen to it. The more you listen to it, the better it gets. I listened to all their albums before the breakup of the Beatles, and they're really good. So yeah. So this is my least favorite. I prefer this one a little more than the Please Please Me, mostly because it doesn't add too many text on there, too. It does have like a little text, but it's okay. I like this album cover. And next up is Magical Mystery Tour. Welcome to the Mystery Tour. Yes, it does include the Magical Mystery Tour song. Roll up for the Mystery Tour. I really love that. I like this song. Oh yeah, by the way, if you're gonna be asking me, did I see the Magical Mystery Tour film? Yes, I actually saw that film one time, and well, I'll get to that about my. I mean, not the review of the film, but I'll talk about my review on the film because I'm gonna have to watch it again because I haven't seen that film in a while. I liked it. I liked it when I first saw it. I just gotta watch it a little more just to get more of an evaluation of what was it about again, just in case. I haven't seen that film since a month, so could take some time or 2 months. I forgot. I think it was actually a month ago. So yeah. So I do like this album cover. It's a crazy colors they add. I mean, sure, this was an influence of the LSD too, and I don't have a problem with this album cover. But the problem I have is that like I complained about the Please Please Me album, that there's a lot of text, and especially they put the text that has includes the songs, which in my opinion is a little. I would say it's basically pointless to add the text of the songs. I mean, like I said, I know this was back in the day where they put text in their album covers. I don't have problems with that, as long as you don't add too much. But this is another thing. I know you'd be like, but why'd you add the With the Beatles on the low spot? Mostly it's because the problem is the white blank page it kind of ruins it a little bit. But this one, it's still a good album cover. I liked it, and it has a little white blank and a little bomb too. But it has a little shorter thing too. So that's why I want to rank that a little higher, because they try to minus the white blank a little bit, but not a whole lot. But that's another thing too. Adding the tracks' names in it and the album covers is basically pointless. Just a word for advice. Don't add the text if you want to be a musician. Don't add the tracks' names, because that just makes it pointless or lazy, in my opinion. And there is actually a European release, and I actually prefer the Europe album cover a lot more than the than the UK. Don't get me wrong, I like the UK album cover too. And I like the European album cover of the Magical Mystery Tour a little more. And yeah, I did saw the film and I actually thought it was really good. I thought it was okay. I thought it was good. I haven't seen the film in a while, so yeah, I actually saw a YouTuber that reviewed this film, and he said that he didn't like this film because of how different and how weird it doesn't make sense. I mean, I was like, that's the point from the band from the Beatles. They're always into experimental stuff. The whole thing started with because some people debate either which album started all with the crazy influence of the LSD, but I would say that Revolver is what started all. Because for people say Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band first started all, I would say Revolver for the most part, because they did have an influence of that subject matter. And he, not only that, but he didn't like, I mean, he did like some parts. He liked the, well, I'll talk about it later on, but I'm not bashing that YouTuber. He just says like how weird and how makes no sense. I mean, like I said, the Beatles are basically experimenting something different. That's what they're doing. Because they can't always be the exact same, because then they're going to lose a lot of fans when you do the same thing over and over again. Don't get me wrong. I do like certain bands that actually do the same thing. Like the first two albums, like for example, I said about Linkin Park's Hyperdarian Meteor albums. Although Meteor had a little different sounds, like Breaking the Habit and Nobody's Listening, it still is pretty good. At least they didn't change it so much. But then later on, it's where they blew it. They messed it up big time. I mean, no disrespect to Linkin Park. And also, rest in peace to Chester Bennington too. And that's another thing. Don't change so much of what we grew up with too. Especially don't grow up with the metal genre or new metal genre and then change it to pop, because we're not gonna like that genre too much. Yeah, that's just I know it's a little off topic, but you gotta at least throw something examples to put in your argument statements. So yeah, this album cover, I love the colors. I mean, it's very crazy. And I do love and yes, I know you're going to be asking, why is it all cracked up? Yes, I know you're going to be asking yourself again, did my parents bought this album back then and then they give it to me? Yes. And it actually had 3 albums that has like cracks on it, because they had this album for a long time too. I don't think I ever told them, but I think they said they had it when I was really young at the time too. I mean, they had this for a while, years. So yeah. So this is my least favorite album cover. It's not really my favorite. And yeah. Next up is Yellow Submarine, the album that's made from the film. And yes, by the way, I actually saw that film. I just watched the film Yellow Submarine, and for me, I thought it was a really good film. The movie, the plot is okay, and the characters are really likable, and the music from this movie is really good too. It's from the Beatles. The musics are really good on it. So yeah, the movie, I can't say it's the best movie ever or the best movie from the Beatles. There's other films I actually really enjoy from the Beatles. Magical Mystery Tour film, I thought it was okay. I mean, I have to see the film again because I haven't seen it in a month, and I forgot what was it about so far. But this film, I really liked it. I really loved it. And I love the animation, and I love the ending, which I don't want to spoil it. I'll do a review on that one later on. But you know what? I'll do a review on that one tomorrow. And yeah, I'm gonna do a review on that Yellow Submarine film. And yeah, I love this album cover. I love it's all cartoon anime. I love that. I love the cartoon looks. I love it. Really nostalgic too. And the movies, for me, I thought the film was really good. I love the anime parts too, and I loved all the parts. I gotta say, I really loved all of them. It didn't tire me out. I really loved it, and yeah, not really too much to say about it. I really loved the colors in it of the album cover. I really loved it. So yeah. So I don't know. Maybe it's because it's an anime, which I kind of guess at a little low. I don't know. I don't have complaints of the album cover. I really loved it. Next up is The Help. Help. I need somebody help. Not just anybody help. Oh man, this song is really nostalgic. I really love this song. And Yellow Submarine. Like what I said about that. We all live in a yellow submarine. And this album cover, I actually want to rank this a little higher than the Yellow Submarine because this one is basically, I guess for me, it's basically they're showing their personalities because they're basically opposing. And they also, by the way, they made a film about this too. And I actually saw that film and I really enjoyed it. It was really funny. For me, I found it funny. I'll review on that film too. I need to review those films more often. I haven't been doing it lately because I've been not only been working, but sometimes I've been forgotten too. But this album cover, I really enjoyed it. Although this is from the UK, but the American is very different too. And I love this album cover, except the problem I had with because you know how their debut album had like the word stereo in it. I didn't really like that too much, in my opinion. I know what they're trying to show you, what types of speaker they're gonna show when you play the album. It's okay. But this album cover, I guess the real reason why I love this album cover is mostly because they're just basically posing and they don't really add too much into it, which is actually pretty cool. I love that. When they didn't add too much of it. All you see is the Beatles and Help and basically the company, the disc, stereo, that's basically what they show. And I really enjoyed this album cover. I really enjoyed it. And the next up is Let It Be, Let It Be. I really love this song too. There will be an answer, let it be. I really love this song, really love this song. And yes, I really enjoyed this album too. I really enjoyed it. This is, because people sometimes they get confused if this is their last album. No, it's not their last album. The Abbey Road is their last album from the Beatles. Because most of the songs that were recorded, because I know you're going to be asking, because I know most of the Beatles fans knows this, but just in case of young viewers who don't really know much about the Beatles, especially if they're watching this video too, just to know a little more of the Beatles. But if you don't know that this is actually, most of the songs, all the songs on this album, Let It Be, are basically recorded before Abbey Road. Because the real reason why they wanted to record this before Abbey Road is because they wanted to record this and release it, but due to the problems they were going, the problems that they cannot solve it, they decided to record all the songs for Abbey Road and decided to end it all. To end the band before the breakup too. That's sad. And they released this as the last album, which is pretty ridiculous. I mean, it's not really ridiculous. I don't have problems with that. I mean, this album was also produced by Phil Spector. You probably don't know that. And yeah, I really love the album cover, which basically shows. I love the fact that the back where John Lennon, Ringo Starr, and George Harrison are in the plain white background, and I love how Paul McCartney is red. I think you can see it. I love how it's red in the background. That's another clue that Paul is dead. Rumors, and no, Paul McCartney's not dead. I know many younger viewers out there who are not a big fan of the Beatles. I know people are gonna be like, I know some younger viewers are going to say, is Paul McCartney actually dead? No, he's not dead. He's still alive. And yeah. I really love this album cover. I love how it doesn't say the Beatles. It says the Let It Be. I really love that. I really love that as an idea too. And yeah. Next up is another movie based on another album from the movie, and it's A Hard Day's Night album. And I really enjoyed this. It's been a hard day's night, and I've been working like a dog. I really love that song. It's so catchy. I love it. This is an album, and I like it. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention, yes, my parents had this a long time, especially my parents really loved this album too. And my parents love the Beatles too. I mean, who doesn't love the Beatles, obviously? And yeah, this album cover, I really loved it a little more than the other ones, mostly because it shows up all the pictures from the band members. And they're basically showing their personality, which I really loved. I mean, for films, they're basically showing mostly their personality in their everyday life. I mean, not every. Well, for this movie, it was more like an everyday routine of what they do in life when they are recording for the songs. And I mean, to tell you the truth, I haven't seen this film in a while. I haven't seen this movie since a month ago. I haven't seen this film in a while, so I'm gonna watch this film again just to reevaluate. And I really love this album cover. It shows their personality. I mean, granted, it does say the Beatles A Hard Day's Night with red text and blue. You probably don't really see it too well, but I really love this album cover. It basically shows their personality, and I really enjoyed it. And as you can see, it doesn't. I don't think in vinyl it says stereo or mono. I don't think it says on vinyl of it, but it does say the company's name, But I really loved this a little more, mostly because they shows their personality. I really enjoyed it. And next is one of everybody's favorite albums, including mine too, Rubber Soul. I really love the text they put, like the text effect, the Rubber Soul. I forgot what was the text effect called, but I really love this text that they put in the Rubber Soul, because this one is green, like I would say, I don't know how you would say it, like I would say a brownish green color, like something like that, like. And then the background is like a real like forest trees in the background, and I love how all the members, except for John Lennon, is looking at the camera. I love how all the members of Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr, and George Harrison are looking away from it. That's pretty funny and pretty almost personality. I mean, almost showing personality a little bit. I don't know, but I think in the vinyl, I believe in the vinyl. I believe in the original vinyl has the color Rubber Soul orange in the. And I mean, I would call it, because the color I would say brownish greenish. I mean, not brownish greenish, brownish green. But like, I don't really know how you would call it. But I believe in the vinyl it has an orange text that has Rubber Soul, and then the forest has like a lighter green, like almost like a brighter album covers. Could be that. But I really love this, and especially the songs on this album is really good. And yeah, I really love this album, and not only that, the album cover, I really loved it. It's really good so far. I really loved it. And next up, and there's not really much to say about it. I mean, despite in the right top, it says the company's name too. But yeah, not really too much to say about it, but I really love the album cover. And next is Beatles for Sale. Really enjoyed this album too. Another thing I really enjoyed is let me show it to the camera, because I don't think you might as well saw it. But if you can see, if you see like the black text that they use, it's basically the album title for Beatles for Sale. But they decided to shrink it up a little more. They shrink it a little more just because to show a little more. I guess they wanted to do a little something different, which I really enjoyed it. I agree with that too, and I really love this album cover, especially although it did said the company's name in the left side, but I really love the text that's shrinking up. Besides the other ones that were big, but this one's really short, which is very cool. And this is the album that actually came out after A Hard Day's Night, but it did include some of the covers from them too. But the Help album is definitely. Or actually, to tell you the truth, that this album is actually the last album that includes covers. Although this is the 4th album. And the next was Help, and all the way through Abbey Road, they don't have covers. As far as I know. And yeah, and then I love the pictures. I love how all the members of the Beatles, they look tired. I mean, granted, they must have been touring for a while, and Beatlemania, they must have been worn out. It could be because probably they just want to be silly, or it could be because of the tour. It could be that. And I really enjoyed this album cover. I really enjoyed it. And yeah, not really too much to say about it. I really love the songs on there. Next up, and we are on to the top 4s. The top 4 albums that because all the albums I really enjoy them. And next up is Revolver, one of my favorite albums from the Beatles. And that's where it started all. Like what I said before with the Magical Mystery Tour album, where it started with the craziness of the influence of the LSD. This is the album for me I've always, I mean not always, but sometimes, because like later, but when I first listened to this album, it was very different, and because when I listened to Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, I thought at first the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band started with the whole influence of it, but no, but later on, I listened to Revolver, and I changed my mind. Revolver is what started it differently. Of their songs, their songwriting, and everything is so much different in this album. They're basically experimental of this album. They did, because that's another thing too. They were so good at in the Beatles too. They were really good. Another thing I really enjoy from the Beatles is that I just found out that the more upcoming albums that they made over the years, the later the albums they made, the more hours it took them to make. Because I believe this album took them for like 360 hours, I guess. I believe, I could be wrong. But this took them for that long to make something really awesome and impressive. And it still holds up today. It's really, this is an album everybody should listen to, and how different this music is. Because if you're an average person who listens to music on the radio today, and you're tired of hearing the same stuff over and over again with the same genre, listen to the Beatles. Not only listen to the Beatles, listen to this album. This album is definitely a music changer right there. This is the music that changed. This is the album that changed the music right there. It changed big time. And this is definitely one of my favorite albums. Although some people say Rubber Soul is their favorite album. Don't get me wrong, I really love that Rubber Soul album. But this is definitely one of my favorite albums from the Beatles. And that's where it started all with the changing of music. And not only that, the changing of that genre too. Because many people would classify the Beatles as pop rock or a pop band or a rock band. I would mostly classify them as progressive rock. Mostly because the later they go on, the more progressive they got in that genre of rock. Because if you listen to the Please Please Me album, it went a little gentle and a little softer of the Please Please Me, their debut album. And the White Album is where, or not the White Album, but later on they got more aggressive with their vocals and the songwriting. They got more aggressive. So I would always classify it. I mean, sometimes back then I used to classify them as pop rock, but then realizing how progressive they got over the years, especially Paul McCartney's not self-titled, but Paul McCartney's albums. But like later on, the later the Beatles made, the more progressive they got, the more aggressive they got with their vocals, songwriting, and their instruments they played over the background. Really cool, really awesome. I really loved it. This is definitely my favorite album cover. I love the picture, and I love it where it's all black and white, and I love how it's got the Beatles members at the top and there, just and down there. I love it. I guess they wanted to make this album because this is in black and white. I'm guessing they wanted to make this album as I think it could be a Screw You label company or a label records. It could be that. But I really love that like almost like a pencil drawing of the Beatles members. I really enjoyed it. I really loved it. And I actually looked up online about the development of this album, that the George Harrison, the drawing for George Harrison took them a longer time than the Paul McCartney, John Lennon, and Ringo Starr drawings. It took them, George Harrison, when they drew George Harrison's face, it took them longer because of the eyes and the hair, the face. I mean, not the face, but like draw him included that. It took them a while, and I forgot how long it took them to do that, but it still succeeded. This is a really good album cover. Really loved it. And I mean, for the bottom, it says Revolver. I really loved it. And basically shows up the label records in the top of the Revolver name. And yeah, that's basically it for that album cover. And now we are on to the top 3 album covers that it's definitely the most classic albums, and not only that, for me, the most iconic. Well, I mean, not the most iconic, but I really love all the Beatles, but these are definitely my favorite album covers. And this one is the White Album. Really enjoy this album cover. It's basically, it doesn't say White Album, it just says the Beatles. Basically the band members' names. I really enjoy this. And I guess, I think Paul McCartney, I believe he had an idea to make it a plain white album cover. And it works, it really works, especially the songs on this album really works. I really love this album cover. This is definitely one of my favorite albums from the Beatles. I really enjoyed it. Especially, it doesn't say the record label. It doesn't say record label, or it doesn't say the White Album. It says the Beatles, and it's really great job on the album cover too, I had to say. So not really too much to say about it, although I had to say it's a really good album cover, I would say. So number 1 and number 2 is, many people would debate either these 2 albums will be of their favorites. But number 1, I already finally discussed what for number 1 and number 2s, I already made up my mind on what I would put on my number 2. And number 2 for me, you may put this as your number 1 or number 2s, but for me is Abbey Road. This is what a classic album. This is the last album they made before the breakup of the Beatles too, by the way. Like I said with Let It Be album, they record all the songs from Let It Be album, but they want to record the songs on this album to end the band before the breakup. And this album, oh my god, this album cover, not only it's so good, but the songs on this album is so good. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I loved it. I mean, that's another thing. The Beatles were good too, because their later catalogs got so much better over time. Especially, well, I mean, not because of the songs, but mostly because of their album covers later on. Revolver album for me is where it's. I mean, I don't think Revolver. No. So I changed my mind. Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. That album is definitely it's definitely the biggest and most influential and the best album cover, which I'll talk about it later on. But this album cover, I love it. It doesn't say the Beatles. It doesn't say Abbey Road. It's just a plain picture of them. I really enjoyed it. I love George Harrison, Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr, John Lennon, left to right. And I kind of noticed it. I think you may notice it in the album cover, which I didn't notice it until now. I think Paul McCartney, his feet, I think it's barefoot, but I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe, I just caught this early on, that I think he was barefoot. Yeah, he was barefoot. That's actually pretty funny and clever, which I didn't notice that before. And I love how Paul McCartney is holding a cigar in his hand. And, I really love the album cover. It's really good. It's just a plain picture of them. I really loved it. Really good job on this. And number one for me is, you may not be surprised by this, and it's Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. So may I choose to you? The only one that's always here is Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. I really love that song too. That's a really good album opener too for this song, or for the album too. I'm sorry. And yeah, and I really love this album cover. Because this is the album that started all. Because this album is where they got better over times with their album covers. For me, I'm joking wrong. Their previous ones were really good too, but this is where it's got a little better. Although their previous ones were really good too, but this is where it started all. And yes, this is definitely on CD too. By the way, it's not on vinyl. I wish it was. I wish I know the vinyl more. I wish I know the vinyl more than before I know the Beatles. But yeah, I really enjoyed this album. Not only the album, but the album cover. It's basically more of a where you stare at the album covers for so long. You stare at this album cover for a long time too, especially because I love how in the background you can see some celebrity appearances too. There appears Bob Dylan and Marilyn Monroe too. It appears a lot of cameos and it's really impressive too at the time, especially. This is where it started all with this awesome album covers. And this is definitely one of the biggest changing of album covers in music history. And yes, I am definitely my opinion, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band is my number one favorite album covers of all time. Mostly not only because of the songs that are really good, but the album cover is really good. I love it. It's all colorful and it has a lot of people behind them. More of like a cameo, stuff like that. It's really impressive job on them too. So in fact, this whole entire video, I'm going to show you what the album looks like for the CD that I got. So hope you don't mind, because it's not going to be long. So I will show the text to skip to end the video if you want me to. So I'm just going to show you what the CD looks like. And this is just the CD, which should have gotten a vinyl, but that's okay. But the back cover is basically the back cover. Put it on focus, just in case you didn't see very well. I really enjoyed this album. And when you open it up, it has like this. And what I didn't notice before is if you have like a CD that has like this, if you probably had this, you probably did have this. Well, for a CD, not like vinyl. But what I didn't notice before is hold on 1 second. Okay, yeah, so when I first noticed it, I didn't even notice it before. I was thinking to myself, what is up with the numbers on the people's face? But when you go on page 6, it actually shows up the numbers of who are they. And I looked at not just to get help with who they are, well, for the most part, but for some people, for the first time when I got this album cover, I actually recognized some of them, like Bob Dylan and Marilyn Monroe. Especially how much of a big influence of a female actress she was. She's so famous. She is definitely among one of the greatest actors of all times, definitely. So yeah, this is basically a CD.
It basically shows up. Basically, put it on focus if you can't see very well. Don't get don't um and what was I gonna say yeah, don't I know you're gonna be asking yourselves, are the other ones gonna be long? Well, not a lot long, but because the other ones are really short because they're basically CDs that I got too. And in the next page it shows up the first recordings to the last recordings, and basically it talks about the recordings of it too. And next one is Peter Blake talks about the album and the album cover, and this is the original development of it too. And oh yeah, fun fact. Not only shows up the members, but have you noticed in the background that it also appears Adolf Hitler? I'm not even joking. It actually had Adolf Hitler in the picture, if you probably didn't notice it. And yeah, I'm not mad or anything. Or no, it's just because it said like it said almost ready for action. Note Hitler on the sidelines too. It said that right there, and I looked at it and I saw him, and I didn't even recognize that before either. And I love how the next page is all four of them. Rest in peace, Charlie and George Harrison. Rest in peace. And yeah, and this is just and these are just basically lyrics to the songs from beginning to end. On the vinyl had a lot of lyrics on the vinyl too. I saw the vinyls and it's insane, dude. I loved it. I love it, dude. I love it. Trying to talk like some kind of crazy 90s or crazy dudes that talk about it that way they talk too. I don't know. But yeah. So the next pages are basically lyrics to the songs, so yeah. And the next page it's a Such Bros cutouts. Mustache, paper cuts, picture cards, stripes, badges, stand up. So, and this one just basically talks about the album sleeve was the first to feature. And fun fact, the album sleeve was the first to feature Prince lyrics. Did you know that? And it was one of the first to have a gatefold sleeve too. It was also the first to have anything other than a plain inner back too. The first pressings coming in a slightly psychedelic sleeve designed by Simon and Merrick of the Fool. And we also had a card with the cutouts, which I had originally intended to be small pocket with badges and pencils and such like. That was stopped because it was caused EMI big marketing problems. I can understand the problems you go through. And this is basically all that it is. Those are just basically pictures that you can cut out right there. Really cool. I love it. I might actually do that someday. I might have to do a cutouts probably someday to show you. So throughout the whole video, I'm basically gonna show you all what the CD looks like. So it's not gonna be too long. I mean, the longest one is Such Bros House Club Band and the White Album. Those are the longest ones so far, and that's it pretty much. Or actually, to tell you the truth, I think Such Bros House Club Band might actually be the longest. I don't have problems with the longest of the showings because they want to show you more information of it too. So the Abbey. Oh yeah, I'm also gonna show you the past masters too. So yeah, I'm gonna show you the past masters. And yep, just the back cover, past the singles, and it's weirdly enough that the reason why I bought this instead of the red and the blue album, mostly it's because the red and blue albums includes the songs from the album. So I would not buy an album that has. I keep saying, forgetting what I was trying to say. I'm not trying to buy the albums that has like songs from the previous albums, especially because of, I don't know why would I even listen to the same songs again. That's just my opinion. And it has songs information too. You probably see it. Yeah, you might see it. Those are all the song facts too. And this is just the pictures of them before and after in the first volume. And yep. And it had the German version of I Want to Hold Your Hand and She Loves You, which is very weird. I mean, I don't have problems with different languages, but I never really... I mean, I'm not saying it's terrible or anything like that. It's not really my favorite versions, I guess because they wanted to do something different. I mean, I don't really know much about the story of it. It might have said it over there. Well,
I mean, they probably did something different. Yeah, they wanted to do something different. Yeah. Yeah, this is a really old album. My parents also had this for a while too. I forget. And the Past Masters too, the second volume of it, and it includes the last singles too, the last ones. Next, I will be doing. Next I will. Well, you know what? Actually, I might. Next, I will actually do a album tracks by tracks ranking the Magical Mystery Tour least favorite to favorite. Like I say, no worst to best, just really good songs on that album. Has singles on the Beatles Past Masters Volume 2. And basically sorry if you hear me sniffling. It's not always like that when I record videos. Sometimes. And yep. And it has one of the most iconic and well-known songs from the Beatles, Hey Jude. Hey Jude, don't make it bad. Also, Elvis Presley did a cover of that song, which is okay. I like the album. The cover is okay. It's not really my favorite. Don't get me wrong. I really love Elvis Presley. He's one of my favorite musicians of all time, especially how much of an influence he is. Even though I am not the #1 biggest fan of Elvis Presley, I do know the background of him. I know the background of what he did in real life and what happened to him in real life. I understand. I'm not too much of a big fan of his songs. I am a big fan of his background. I am. All right. Okay, so that's all I want to show you for the Past Masters. So next up, I'm going to show you the rest of the albums, and I am going to wrap it up. So next up is Abbey Road. Really good album cover. I really love this album cover. It's the side. I love the texts that are so big that Beatles Abbey Road. Basically the number of the CD that I got. Very crazy too. And really cool album cover too. So I may not talk a lot. Not because I don't want to, but it's mostly because I'm just showing you pictures too. And that's all the pages they have in the CD too, by the way. So next up is going to, and yes, that's all the pages they have on that Abbey Road. I'm not even joking. So the next one is going to be the White Album. Definitely one of my favorite albums. And not only that, the album cover, really loved it. First page has the booklet and the first disc. I'll show you the booklet first, and then I'll show you I'll show you the second one first because it's actually shorter. It has like a little handle, so you could just open it like this, like that. So you could just leave the first one alone. Has songs from this too. So next up I will show you what the booklet looks like. Really good album cover. I really loved it. So it shows up the song informations and the pictures of it. And the lyrics too, by the way. Lyrics to the songs too, by the way. So I'm not gonna really talk much because not because I just want to, not because I don't want to talk, but mostly because I don't really have too much to say about this, other than saying how much of a good album it is. Look at Paul McCartney's face of how sad he is, of how crazy he has to go through at the end of the Beatles' band last era too. Okay, so I might have to censor the top part. So I'm gonna just cover it up. Or you know what? I'm gonna cover it up this part, the top one, because I'm gonna censor it because it does include the body parts that I'm not gonna include it there. Other than that, I really love that. Although I do love the booklet for the pictures and information, but it's really, I guess because they got away from it back then, but now I don't think, because if they make this nowadays, they would not have gotten away from it. I mean, for back then, they got away from it too. And next page. Next page. All the lyrics, look at that. And the final page. And that's it. And this is the back of the picture too. that's it for the White Album. So overall, so throughout the whole entire what I'm gonna be talking about, it's gonna be really short, way shorter than the previous ones. Or
This is Revolver next.
really love the album cover too.
This is the first page. Second page. I love how there's a little number on there in the bottom once if you probably didn't notice it. Look at George Harrison. He looks silly.
Oh, excuse me.
Next up is Beatles for Sale.
I really enjoyed this album cover. I really loved it.
I keep forgetting to show you the back cover too. I always forget.
So we're almost done, though. We're almost done.
So this is the back cover, by the way. I love how they're looking upwards too. The Who's My Generation album really reminds me of it a little bit.
And I know you're gonna be asking yourself, are you a Who fan? I am not a Who fan. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like their songs, but it's gonna take me a while to get fully into the Who, so I'm not a big fan of the Who.
So this is the first. This is just the information of. This is just the information of the album, by the way. Just a picture of them touring. And that's it, the last page.
So yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Who, although I do have to admit it. I do know their debut on My Generation. I do know them personally, in their backgrounds a little bit, but I am not a big fan of the Who, which it will take me a while to get into the Who.
So yeah, Rubber Soul is next. This just first picture is George Harrison. Second picture is John Lennon, Paul McCartney. And the last page is Ringo Starr. Also known as Richard Starkey, his real name.
You probably don't know that. And yeah, I know you'll be asking yourself, how come you're not opening the CDs out?
Because all their CDs, they basically looks the same, basically. Because look, when you open it up, it doesn't really show much info in it. It's just basically a plain, I mean, because don't get me wrong, because the CDs were most of the CDs were remasters in the 80s, in the late 80s, in 1987 for the most albums that were remastered at the time too. Next is A Hard Day's Night.
Really enjoyed that album cover too. So we're in. Oh god. Okay. So oh my god, we're
almost at the end, guys. Bear with me. So yeah. Oh, I forgot to show you the background. Okay.
So yeah. I love the back cover. That kind of reminds me of the vinyl a little bit, where it shows up their pictures of the Beatles. It kind of reminds me of the vinyl a little bit. A Hard Day's Night.
And it's inspired by the film, which I really enjoy. I actually really enjoyed the film, A Hard Day's Night. It's really funny. I mean, not only it's really funny, but it's a really good musical movie too. It just shows the info of the album and the movie too. And that's it.
So we're almost there. We're halfway there. But the last ones are really short, so the last ones are quite short. Next is
Let It Be. Let it be, let it be.
I love that song.
Especially love the back cover too. So that's it. They're gonna. So that's the only page they got in the book. I'm not even joking. That's the whole entire page of the CD. If you have it, well, so far I have it. So yeah, that's it for Let It Be. It's really short. Next ones are not too short, but they're quite short. Okay, there you go. I was having a trouble time trying to open the CD. Okay. Next one is Help. I need somebody help. Not just anybody help. You know, I need someone help. I really love that song. I really love this song. So catchy. That's it pretty much. That's it for the whole entire page. But no. I was actually wrong. I was actually wrong for what I said about the Help one. I thought that was the first that this is the last they had by themselves, but well, Help, because Help actually has some covers. It has Act Naturally by Buck Owens and that song Dizzy Miss Lizzy from Larry Williams. I really love that musician, Larry Williams. He makes really good songs too. And I'm not the biggest fan of him, but I do know his songs. Yellow Submarine's next. You probably don't know this, but tracks 7 through 13 are original film score composed and orchestrated by George Martin, produced by George Martin too. Rest in peace, George Martin. He also passed away, I believe, 3 years ago. I could be wrong. And that's it. It basically talks about the album. That's it. So we're into the last three, and I am done for this video. Okay, sorry about that, guys and girls. I accidentally dropped my camera and it stopped recording. So next, next up is the Magical Mystery Tour album. We're into the last three, so we're almost done. And the back cover. So the next video, I am actually going to do a album ranking, tracks by tracks to worst to best. Like I always say, there's no bad songs that the Beatles made over in the band members. The first page. I love this page too. I love how they're just basically touring, or not touring, but they're performing from the movie. They were performing from that I'm the Worst scene. It's really good. Love that scene. Oh yeah, because the first part actually includes the lyrics right there. The full Magical Mystery Tour, Full on the Hill, and the second half is basically lyrics to Blue Jay Way. Your mother should know I am the Worst. Not your mother should know I am the Worst, but your mother should know and I am the Worst. Because then people are gonna be confused. Like, those two songs go together, or they're just separated? Well, I mean, if for younger viewers out there don't know. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it actually for this CD. Last two ones and I'm done with the Beatles. Show you the back cover first. Look at Ringo Starr. You know what I actually really enjoy from this picture of I loved about this album cover? Like, and no, I did not cut this out. I did not cut that part out. This is actually what they designed it in the CD that I have. They designed it that way. I didn't cut it. That's right. I didn't cut that part. That's exactly how the CD looks like. It's actually pretty impressive. And that's the first picture of the who played the instruments. And the first picture is John Lennon. Those are basically the tracks by tracks. The next one is George Harrison. Just a fun fact of the tracks on this album. Another one too, and Paul McCartney face. And that's the last page. It's the last page of the album. And I love how the back is just Ringo Starr. It looks so messed up and it's depressed. I know it's just a picture, but it looks pretty silly in my opinion. And we are on to the last one, and it is the Please Please Me album. Because their earlier ones were really shorter with their albums, especially because of how short their pages are for the booklet. But their later ones got a little long. I mean, not longer, but like shows you more info on it too. CD. Yep. Just a back picture of them looking really silly with their goofy smiles. They're so silly. This is the first page. And second page. And that's it. I'm not joking, that's it. Just shows up facts about the album, that's it. It kind of, the first debut album is almost like, because, like, I just want to tell you something a little more before I end the video. That they're less, because like every musician's or every band's does before they make like their own, they wrote their own songs. Most bands from the earlier times is where some songs have their own songwriting, but some are basically covers. But that's how bands and musicians do in their earlier musicians. And yeah, that's it. So if you guys enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, share this video with your friends and family, tap the bell for notifications to be notified directly to that video. My social media are in the description down below. Or, I keep forgetting to end the video with share this video with your friends and family if they are Beatles fans. And yeah, if you are new here, I do not talk about the Beatles, but I talk about any musicians or bands that comes for me that I really enjoy and still listen to this very day. And my social media are in the description, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye. Or I messed it up. Let's try it again. I will see you in the next video. Change the world. Peace and love.